On behalf of Eblen Charities and all the people that are involved in this project, welcome. We're certainly proud of the place. We're proud that you're here. We certainly thank everybody that's been involved. First of all, the State Employees Credit Union Foundation, and we have some representatives here from the State Employees Credit Union Foundation. Certainly the most important thing in doing a project like this is the money, and they provided the money. So thank you, folks. Second, Buncombe County had this parcel of land, and thinking back a year or so ago, or a year and a half ago, I never thought we'd be here today doing what we're doing. And Buncombe County provided this parcel of land, and it is beautiful. It's a great place for this. It's safe, and we appreciate Buncombe County doing their part in supplying the land. MSD brought the sewer to the property, and we certainly appreciate their participation, and certainly we wouldn't be able to have the project unless we did have their participation. Go Forth Construction Company. I have to say this about Go Forth. And Bruce Goforth is here. He has done a super job in getting this project off the ground as well as finishing the project, particularly since he finished it on time and a little under budget. So certainly we thank Bruce. NHM Construction, they did a great job here in preparing this property for this project, and I know Bill Newman is out here somewhere, but certainly thank you, Bill, for what you did. T&K Utilities, I know that Wendell Howard is here too somewhere. And all the other subs that worked on the property. So thanks to all of those. Gary Davis Engineering, he worked on the land planning and helped. When I was down at his office bugging him about something, he always responded and took care of it. So Gary Davis Engineering. Greg Israel with Buncombe County certainly was a big help for us too. Rod Hudgens Engineering, and Rod's here, did some work for us on the project. Chris Lewis with Lowe's Stores. Lowe's certainly helped us with the appliances, and we appreciate Lowe's for what they did for us. I know Chris is here. Biltmore Church, the West Asheville branch. They have a project called Love Loud, and they brought 25 people over here on a Saturday to help us spread mulch, plant trees, and so forth, and do what landscaping we were able to do. Alan Barry also did some work on some of the landscaping as an independent person. The city and the county administration staff, certainly both of them have worked with us well on permitting and doing all the things that we need to get the project underway. The Eblen Charities staff. I'm a board member with Evelyn, and I know Bill Murdock is here, who is the CEO of Evelyn, and certainly they have been very helpful in doing all the work that was necessary to get the project going. The Sheriff's Department for helping us out. As all of you know, one of the branches of this, may not know, but one of the branches of the Sheriff's Department is right out here beside the entrance. So we do have that certainly helps with this being a safe place for our teachers to be. Young Transportation, Tom Crouch is here today, and thank you, Tom, for helping us with the shuttle service. Appreciate that. The Irwin High School JROTC group that helped us with parking. And last, thanks to Ingalls for the help with the food. They provided the food that we have here today. So we want to thank Ingalls also. Let's give all of them a big hand. Okay, our next speaker today is Dr. Tony Baldwin. Dr. Baldwin is one of the people who founded an LLC to do this program and to build this complex. So Tony, Come on up.
Well, I spent the last 48 hours just hoping and praying for Carolina blue, clear skies and no rain, but I forgot to ask for the temperature to be a little milder. So I apologize. I want to thank Dewey Andrew. You know, behind every successful project, there's always a person or group of individuals that are just instrumental to the project being a success. And I can tell you that in athletic terms, Dewey Andrew is an MVP for this project. And so, Dewey, thank you for the countless hours, and I mean countless, that he's spent here. You know, from the start, this project has been all about recognizing the powerful positive influence that teachers can make on their students' lives. Likewise, it's about well-established partnerships, community partners, like the State Employees Credit Union, who's been such a good friend to educators across the entire state, Buncombe County government, as Dewey has referenced, and Eblen Charities, who is clearly one of our strongest partners, not only for Buncombe County Schools, but for the entire Western North Carolina community. And what they do is they partner, they connect, and they provide opportunities to support that recognition of teachers. So that's really why we're here. Now, this project actually began 3 years ago, spring of 2014. Dr. Short and I were privileged to be at the table with the State Employees Credit Union Foundation. And I want to mention a name, Mark Twisdale. Mark's the retired executive director, and Mark was a great friend of this project. Likewise, Sandra Carnigan, who is now at the Raleigh office, but was a local branch VP in Arden, and Mary Ann Rice, and Mary Ann is with us today, and she was a local branch VP and still is here in the Asheville chapter. And they came to us and they talked about an existing program that State Employees Credit Union had successfully launched in the eastern part of the state that provided affordable housing exclusively to teachers. Affordable housing exclusively for teachers, and especially for new teachers or those very new in their profession. What a very needed concept, especially here in Asheville. On January 22nd, 2015, the State Employees Credit Union Foundation approved our application for this program, and along with it came a zero-interest construction loan. Now think of that. In today's world of construction, and we've just finished 4 brand new schools, and I never saw anything close to zero interest. But they came to the plate because it's all about teachers. On June of 2015, Eblen Charities, the State Employees Credit Union, Asheville and Buncombe County School Systems, they formally announced the Williams-Baldwin Teacher Campus, that construction project. And following the bid process, as we've already recognized, Bruce Goforth Builders, what an incredible job that they have done. And especially in today's world, to bring something in time. That's my wife telling me that she's late and can't find the place. But Goforth Builders has been a strong, supportive partner of our, these things won't cut off easy, will they? It's hard to cut off my wife either, also. Strong, supportive partner of our school systems, and they began construction on the property again that was provided by our county commissioners. Now I want to thank you, Roy and Wanda, for allowing us to use your names to support recognizing the importance of teachers and educators, and to do our very best to support their start and, just as importantly, continuing in their profession. And that is a very noble profession. Still remains one of the most noble professions that exists. Now, while the Williams family name may be most often linked to NCAA college basketball championships, and Wanda, that includes you, because I know that You're a co-coach if you're married to the head coach. Whether it be NCAA College Basketball Championship or the Basketball Hall of Fame at the national level, they were first and foremost classroom teachers. In 1973, Roy at Owen High School and Wanda at ACR Reynolds High School under Mr. Ron Dalton. Although I do believe you started your career at West Carteret the year before. In turn, their thought, after agreeing to allow us to use their names, was to recognize those teachers who influenced them in their lives and their career. And that's Buddy Baldwin and Rosalie Baldwin. And how neat. We're talking about generations of educators. A first generation of teachers that between them served 73 years in the classroom. To all of you, a sincere thank you for a gift that will keep on giving to future generations of educators in Buncombe County and Asheville City.
Thank you, Tony. Our next speaker this morning or this afternoon, Dr. Bobby Short with the Asheville City Schools. Dr. Short.
Good afternoon. We're honored to be here today for the celebration of these new beautiful apartments for teachers of our two districts. I remember, like Tony has said earlier, 2.5 years ago, as interim superintendent of Asheville City Schools, we were talking, in the talking stages really, about this wonderful building. And today, that talk is an amazing, affordable teacher living complex. This building is possible because of the vision and the total commitment to education which our leaders and our community organizations demonstrate time and time again. On behalf of all of our teachers, thank you to our State Employees Credit Union Foundation, to our amazing Buncombe County Commissioners and the Eblen Foundation. Also, a special thank you to Cynthia Lopez, Buncombe County Schools, and Dr. Mark Dickerson, Asheville City Schools, Human Resources Directors, who have worked diligently to get the word out to our new teacher recruits. Also, thank you to Mr. Andrews, whose leadership and his business savvy have been so critical to the success of this project. The Williams-Baldwin Teacher Campus name is perfect, honoring teachers Rosalie Baldwin and her decades of service to hundreds of Buncombe County School students, and to Buddy Baldwin and also his wife Carolyn for outstanding years of service to students as teachers, a coach, and a mentor. And of course, to Coach Roy and Wanda Williams, true champions for children and young adults across our state and our nation. This venture is a great investment in the future of our community. New teachers, especially those coming to us from outside our community, now have an affordable place to live. This wonderful community collaborative sends a strong message to the teachers of Buncombe County and Asheville City Schools, a message that we truly care about teachers and their well-being. We care, we are committed, and we are serious about our collective dedication to education. Thank you for all it has taken to build this haven for teachers. Thank you for not just paying lip service to how much we value teachers, but for showing them firsthand. It is an honor as an educator to work in this community, a community which values our teachers as they in turn value our students. And I think that's a big hooray and a way to go to all of us.
Okay, our next speaker will be from the one of the most important groups involved in this program, and that's from the State Employees Credit Union Foundation. And Michael Clements will be, come on up, Michael, and we appreciate what you guys have done. This is certainly a great effort on your part, and thank you.
Good afternoon. It is a pleasure to be here this afternoon along with other state employee credit union representatives to celebrate the anxiously awaited ribbon cutting of the new Williams-Baldwin Teacher Campus. On behalf of the credit union's 2.2 million members who fund the SECU Foundation, we are pleased to be part of this teacher housing initiative that has been made possible through the hard work of many individuals and partnerships, including Asheville City and Buncombe County Boards of Education, Eblen Charities, and Buncombe County. Together, and with the assistance of the Foundation's interest-free 15-year loan of up to $2.8 million, we are able to provide new and current teachers in Asheville City and Buncombe County Schools with a safe, convenient, and affordable housing option. Asheville's new campus is SECU's first teacher housing project in Western North Carolina, and we believe that it will serve as a strong incentive to help attract and retain teachers to this area. The Williams-Baldwin campus is the 5th teacher housing initiative supported by the SECU Foundation, with previous projects in Hertford, Dare, and Hogue counties. The success is due in part to the unique and resourceful funding concept developed and replicated for these initiatives. As funds for the teacher campus loans are repaid through rental income, the SECU Foundation is able to help fund future projects in other counties throughout North Carolina. In closing, I'd like to acknowledge the collaborative effort of everyone who helped bring this project to completion, including the State Employees Credit Union members, some of who are Asheville City and Buncombe County School employees. This project truly demonstrates our members' commitment and desire to help provide a quality education for today's students while continuing to build strong relationships with North Carolina educators and local communities. There are several folks here I'd like to just acknowledge. For example, the local advisory board. Is there any SECU local advisory board members? Let's raise your hand. Great. A round of applause for those folks. Our credit union employees. How many credit union employees? We got a bunch of folks here. Great. Our SECU Foundation members, we have several of those folks here. Jim, good. And of course, our SECU Foundation staff, Jan Dergehart is here. Thank you so much for being here. We look forward to seeing the positive impact this teacher campus will make for Asheville area schools and their communities for years to come. And on a personal note, when I was growing up, and people of my generation, the kids of my generation, were oftentimes asked the question, what do you want to be when you grow up? And what we would normally say are things like, I want to be a doctor. I want to be a lawyer. I want to be a college coach. I want to be a policeman. I want to be a fireman. I want to be a teacher. Teaching is an honorable profession, and it's one that many folks strive to become because of the profound impact it has on our children. Many teachers have been the ones who've changed us in directions. I know I wouldn't be anything today had it not been for a few teachers. And see, back in those days, they used terms like, I'll slap you upside the head, boy. Some of you remember that. And then, of course, if they called your mom and told her what happened, you got slapped twice. Even towards this end, my mother was a paraprofessional, and my wife has been a teacher in the Wake County and the Davidson County school systems, a high school English teacher who, by the way, in her last 10 years was Teacher of the Year twice. My wife, Gwen. I learned from being married to a teacher how challenging that job is, and it's sometimes a very thankless job. But sometimes there are humorous moments, like the time a student came up to my wife, a student who hadn't been doing his work at all, and he said, Mrs. Clements, why did you give me an F? And she said, because I couldn't give you a G. but it is a challenging profession, and teachers, as a society and as a community, we need to do everything we can to support our children and our teachers. So, being part of the SECU Foundation, being involved with these types of projects, which will hopefully encourage teachers to work in many areas and make it a lot easier for them, since we certainly do not pay them what they deserve. I agree. The Credit Union Foundation is very proud to be a part of this project. Thank you for allowing us to do so. Thank you.
And now, for local people, certainly this gentleman needs no introduction, because I think you see him around all the time. The CEO of Eblen Charities, Bill Murdock. Bill, come on in.
Well, one thing about being placed so far down in the card is there's hardly anybody left to thank. So, I probably will be doing some repeating of that. And Coach Baldwin asked me to lean over and said, "Don't talk too long." So, being one of my teachers, and Roy, I know one of yours. Did you have Coach Baldwin for driver's ed? No, Coach Hendricks. Yeah, me too. Me too. I probably would have been, I love Coach Henry. I might have been a better driver, Coach. I don't have many accidents, but people behind me seem to have a lot of accidents. So, I kind of missed out on that. But, a little more than 18 months ago, we all got together and we announced what actually had become the worst kept secret in Buncombe County. And now, Bruce, 9 months and 15 days or so after placing the first footer, that worst kept secret of Buncombe County now has become not only what you see here today, but one of the most anticipated and watched educational projects in the country. Where we've had calls from the University of Oklahoma and from all over the country saying every time we look up teacher housing, Buncombe County and Eblen Charities pops up. How do you do that? So again, thank you so much for allowing us, all of us, for Evelyn to be part of this. And real quick, Stacia, thank you, Tiffany, Cynthia, and certainly Eddie Gum, who does all this great artwork, Amanda Putnam, Susan Riddle, and everybody at Eblen Charities. Thank you for doing these things that don't just happen. So thank you all so much for everything that you have done. But one thing about this, I think, as unique as it is, shows that there's nothing more powerful than an idea whose time has come. And this Friday would have been Joe Eblen's 92nd birthday. And actually, I do have some orange in my tie. I have to find something with orange anytime we do something like this for Joe in Tennessee. But Joe would have been 92 on Friday. And from the very beginning of Eblen Charities, Eblen Foundation, and then Eblen Charities, we've strived to do two things. One is to reach out to those in need in our community, those that can't get help, those that may not qualify anywhere else. And also, through the Eblen Center for Social Enterprise, which we started on Joe's 80th birthday, as a present to him, is to join with great partners and great organizations and develop programs such as this. And as many programs as we've been involved with, we've never seen or been part of anything like this. So the county commissioners here, State Employees Credit Union, Tony, Bobby, and thank you for letting Eblen Charities be a part of such a great venture and such a great project here. We at Evelyn have no stronger partnerships than with Buncombe County and with the Buncombe County Schools, and the Asheville City Schools as well. We see every day the importance, in our office, we see every day the importance the educators bring to our community. The number of calls that Susan and Brenda and all of our staff get with children and their families that are in need in our community. And that comes from the reason we've been so effective in that is because of the teachers, because of the educators knowing what the needs are and coming to Eblen Charities. We know how many lives all educators in our community touch. Jesse Stewart, the renowned author, educator, and poet laureate of Kentucky, had written about education, and he said, "No other profession in America has directly or indirectly affected the lives of so many people as has the teaching profession. I am firm in my belief that a teacher lives on through their students, Good teaching is forever, and the teacher is immortal. But in these difficult times, we can see more and more the value of the educator, more and more value of the teachers. And Dewey, I know you're a former teacher as well. Joe Eblen, a former teacher as well. Roy and Wanda, knowing the value of what you bring to the countless lives, not only just the students, but the entire community. And we also know the challenges that are being faced by new teachers first entering the profession, and how difficult sometimes that is, and how difficult it may be, because we can't do anything, sadly, about their salary. But what we can do is this. What we can do is approach this problem from a completely different angle. What we can do is build the Williams-Baldwin Teacher Campus. It will help make their money go further. And as we build more, right, Dewey and I, we've talked about that. If we build more, the rent will actually go down in price, because Bruce promised he'd save us some more money on that. So, we're looking forward to another 24 units here, hopefully very soon. You know, it's well-known saying is victory has 100 fathers, but defeat is an orphan. And I think I'd be remiss if I didn't again thank some of the people that have already been thanked, because they're the true fathers and mothers of this project. You know, certainly the county commissioners. I know Brownie. I see Brownie here. Thank you so much, you know, for being here as well, and Joe and Robert and Mike and all the commissioners. Wanda Green. You know, again, like Dewey said, gave us this property. This project would not have worked if that first part had not come into place. Jerry Vian, you know, Your Honor, thank you so much. MSD, the infrastructure you did. Again, more than $100,000 that they donated to us. Without that, this project would not have happened. I see Holly Jones is here, Holly, former commissioner, for her vision and for being part of the very beginning, bringing it to us, sitting in those first meetings, and not only watching out for everything here, but also making sure that Evelyn was taken care of as well. So, Holly, we'll never forget that. Thank you so very much. Bruce, Chuck, thank you, you know, so very much. Doug, for all the work that you've done. And I know you wouldn't say this, but talking today, Bruce said this is the fastest project that they have ever done. But I guess when you have Dewey Andrew and Tony Baldwin, you know, riding on your heels, you got to make sure that it's going to be done very quickly. So, you know, again, thank you so much. And the State Employees Credit Union, again, thank you for that opportunity and for the no interest loan that you provided for us. But there are three people who I have to say really deserve the lion's share of the credit. Three people that I think are the fathers, and two fathers and one mother of this project. One, Tony Baldwin, Dr. Baldwin, who brought the project to us, came into our office. Bill Waddell and I were sitting there, and he says, I need your help on a project. And we said, okay. And he said, well, don't you want to know what it is? And we said, well, do we need to? And so if Tony brought something, we know it was the right thing to do. And Dewey Andrew, who's been here every single day, along with Bruce, and making sure this happens. So thank you all so much. And Mary Ann Rice. Mary Ann, thank you for help shepherding through all of this with the State Employees Credit Union locally and also with the state. Thank you so much. That's what made this project become a success. So isn't it amazing how much can be accomplished when men and women and organizations of courage and vision and goodwill all come together and see what's happened here in 9 months and 15 days. Under budget and 2.5 months ahead of schedule, Bruce? So as you say, you usually don't see those things, Tony, right? Put together. Again, but that's an interesting thing is once again it's Buncombe County that led the way in doing this. It was Buncombe County that from Greenville, South Carolina, from Michigan, from Oklahoma, all the calls we've been getting, all the inquiries we've been getting, it all came here as Buncombe County once again led the way with their innovation and again their vision and their courage in doing this. In closing, too, we don't see this as a burden at Eblen Charities. We see this as a great opportunity. This is a great challenge for us, not only to move together, move the whole community forward together. And even though there are 3 other housing projects like this in the state, I think this is unique in the fact that we brought the entire community together. It wasn't just the school systems. It wasn't just State Employees Credit Union. It wasn't just Eblen Charities. It wasn't just the business community. It was everybody brought together to be able to do this, to allow to have 1,100 square feet for $915 a month. Couldn't have been done with all of us doing that in the community. A couple month or so ago, WLS was here, and they were interviewing us, kind of an update, and they said, what do you call this? I said, is this affordable housing? And we said, well, no, not in the traditional sense. we don't see this as affordable housing. And they said, what would you call it? Workforce housing. And we said, no, that just doesn't quite fit either. And Jennifer said, well, what do you call it? And I said, we don't know what to call this. We've really been struggling for what are we going to call this type of thing that we all did together. And she said, well, this just seems like a very smart way of doing things. And I said, that's it. This is smart housing. This is not only smart housing because it's going to provide great homes for teachers, but it's smart housing by bringing the community together, led by the Buncombe County Commissioners, led by the school systems, the State Employees Credit Union, Eblen Charities, all of us together. So we talk about innovation, we talk about entering into a new century, we talk about all these great things that we've been seeing. So what we see here today is something new. It's developing a great project of smart housing. So, and again, thank to all of our partners so much. Roy and Wanda, thank you so much for allowing us to have your name, Carolyn, Buddy, and the same, Tony, for your mom. I did have your mom for geometry. I owe her all of my success because if she hadn't let me drop her class, I would have been the world's oldest sophomore. So I know you hear that all the time. People say, "Oh, I owe your mother so much," and so do I. So thank you so much. She, she did let me drop her class, and knowing the stellar student that I was, I greatly owe her a lot too. But again, thank you so much. And just in closing, this isn't where Eblen Charities' commitment with Buncombe County Schools and Asheville City Schools ends. We've had a graduation initiative. We've had student clothing. We have so many great programs with both school systems. But this is just where it begins again. This is just where our commitment at Eblen Charities is renewed and just grows stronger. So again, thank you all so much. And as we talk about all the time, welcome to smart housing and welcome to our new frontier. Thank you.
Okay, next on the program today, from the County Commissioners, our Chairman of the County Commissioners, Brownie Newman. And certainly, as Bill has said and we've all said, the county gave us this property with this beautiful piece of property. It wasn't quite this beautiful, I didn't think, when we first saw it, but we're proud of it now. Thank you.
Thank you. Good afternoon. It's great to be with all of you on this really special day that we've all been looking forward to ever since this project was first conceived. And I remember the first time I heard about it, I kind of asked for it to be explained to me a couple of different times because honestly, it seemed like one of those things that was just, it almost seemed a little too good to be true. Here we've got a project idea that the schools and the State Employees Credit Union developed where we could build a very attractive, affordably priced, new multifamily development for our public school teachers, and it's not going to cost the county taxpayers any funding towards this project. And I said, no, I'm missing something. How is that doable? But it is through this great partnership that came together and the great generosity of the State Employees Credit Union that makes this possible. And the county is more than happy to be a partner in this. Our contribution to it is a modest one. We own this real estate, and obviously it has been taken to a much greater level of value through this great project that has been brought forward here. So we're very appreciative of this. I do want to acknowledge my colleagues from the County Commission who are with us, County Commissioners Mike Fryer and Joe Belcher and Robert Presley are here, along with former County Commissioners Holly Jones, who was very, very supportive of this from the beginning, County Commissioner Al Whitesides, and County Commissioner Carol Peterson. It's great to see you. And these commissioners have been strong supporters of our public schools and teachers. And so for us, this project was a no-brainer. Supporting our public schools is the most important role of the County Commission. And there's a lot of things we need to do right to have successful schools. We got to have the right kind of classrooms. We've got to have great school buildings. But the research is really clear that the very most important thing that makes schools successful is having a great teacher in the classroom. And nothing else really even comes close to it. If you have great teachers, then you're going to have successful schools. And if we don't, they're going to be more challenged. So we have great teachers in Buncombe County, and we need to do everything we can to communicate to them. And we don't communicate it often enough, that we respect you, we value you, and we care for you. And we need to support them through our compensation, as school teachers, and then when we can find other things to do to attract and keep great teachers in the classrooms like this creative project, we've got to get behind it. So congratulations to everyone who's worked on this. Thank you for making it happen. We need more of this. This is a challenge that is not going to go away, and we need to keep replicating great models like this in Buncombe County. Thank you all very much.
Okay, our next speakers are people that certainly don't need any introduction, but I want to say a few words about them anyway. Roy and Wanda Williams were both teachers in Buncombe County, and Coach Baldwin and Rosalie Baldwin were also teachers in Buncombe County. And Roy has told me about how he started out in a small building. I'm not sure where it was, Roy, but it must have been somewhere in Buncombe County. Smaller than this. So he knows what it is to start out as a new teacher. And since I was a basketball official during the 70s and 80s and into the 90s, I got to be around Coach Williams and Coach Baldwin several times in the gym and had a lot of good words of encouragement from them over the years, you know, and it kind of went something like this. Doggone it, Dewey, call the same on both ends. The one thing I can say about the two coaches, they always knew the rules, and they probably knew them better than I did. So anyway, Coach Williams went on to become one of the greatest coaches in the game of basketball and is a holder of many firsts. Some of you may not know, but he's also the first guy, the first coach to reach 500 wins in the least number of seasons in NCAA Division I. He has won 3 national championships. He just finished with one of the greatest seasons ever, I think, because he won the national championship and 4 of his top 6 players were from North Carolina. I know how hard Coach Williams worked when he went to Carolina. We played golf on occasion on Sunday morning after he worked all night on Saturday night, I think. But anyway, it shows what a great leader, what a great teacher, what a great person he is to be able to develop talent like that and to bring it to the top, the very top that you can get to in his profession. Coach Roy Williams, come on up, and Wanda Williams. Wanda also was a teacher in the county, and Coach, we all know that for any successful man, there's always a great lady behind him.
I said I would say something quickly. You can hold on just a minute, okay? Dewey Andrews stood up here. Somebody give the man a chair. You offered him a chair? He worked harder right there than I ever saw him work in any basketball game I ever refereed. And all the speakers, every one of you started to clap before you finished. And Bill Murdock, he started to clap 12 times before you finished. But he still doesn't listen to you. But it's a great thrill for Wanda and myself. Our original goal was that it would be the Baldwin-Williams family teacher campus. And it was not Williams-Baldwin. They cheated, put our name first. But it was also for Buddy Baldwin, Rosalie Baldwin, 2 of our teachers, but also Carolyn Baldwin for all the years that she taught at Valley Springs, 30 full-time, 14 part-time, and also, and Tony couldn't do this politically probably, but we wanted to name it for Tony as well, so it was the entire Baldwin family. But it was something that we're thrilled with. Park 2 cars, put 1 freezer in front of them, and put 2 beds upstairs above. It's all you can do, and that's what we had when we first started. We lived there for 4 years. But the most important people in my life, my mother was the angel of the world, but the most important people in my life were my high school teachers, Buddy Baldwin, Rosalie Baldwin, Miss Dunn, so many of them. But we're thrilled to be here. I'm not going to talk any longer. Bill Murdock talked long enough for all of us. Are you running for something? Not anymore? But Bill and I did have one thing in common. We've got fewer tickets because we had Jack Hendricks as a driver's education teacher as opposed to Buddy. Buddy's struggling a little bit now with old age. But other than that, we're thrilled to be here. I'm thrilled to be on the same line where it says Williams-Baldwin. And it's a thrill for us to be here. We did walk in, and it was fantastic. We thank State Employees Credit Union, Eblen Charities, and if there's anybody that hadn't been recognized today, raise your hand and I'll recognize you. Okay. All right, but thanks so much for everybody, and I'll let Wicked Wanda say something if she chooses.
I don't need to say anything.
She said she didn't need to say anything, but we're thrilled to be here. Buncombe County, Western North Carolina will always be our home. The memories that we have from school systems here is what's led us to some pretty nice things. And Bill did say one thing that was really good. He said, you know, when you win, you got everybody around you, and the next year, if you lose, you're an orphan. Last year I was an orphan, Bill, but by golly, right now, everybody wants to say hello. Thank y'all very much. Leanna, if you'll come up here, I'll have my wife, Wicked Wanda, to hand you the key. Here you go, honey. Give her the key.
Thank you. Congratulations. Thank you very much. Thank you. I really
Leanna is going to be she is one of our teachers in the county, and she is already committed to being in one of the apartments here. So that's what that was for, presenting the key to Leanna. Thank y'all. Okay, if y'all could just go down to the front here, we're going to cut the ribbon. Okay. We'll now do the honors and cut the ribbon.